Mazuma TV back on my last video for the night, and I felt like talking about this because it's really been catching my attention lately now. Shout out to Danny Garcia for his win on Saturday night. Faced Samuel Vargas. Was pretty much wiping the cobwebs off. You know, he didn't fight since January, so you know it's a big time off for an active fighter like Danny Garcia. He usually fights like 2 or 3 times a year. Um, watching him Watching him fight seems like the timing is still there, which Danny is really good with timing and pretty exceptional boxing skills as well, which Danny doesn't really get credit for. When a lot of people talk about Danny, they talk about his power, um, which is definitely a big contribution to him as a fighter. But the little things like his counter punching ability and his experience and his you know his counterpunching, his timing, and his experience is something that he really doesn't get credit for, and that's what really makes him the fighter that he is, and it makes him um, and it gives him the ability to make him the winner that he is now. Um, with that being said about Danny Garcia being a winner, he's going against Keith Thurman in March on March 4th. The location isn't really said yet. That's not set in stone, but there definitely is a date and the contract is signed, so it is an official fight going on early next year. And when you talk about Danny Garcia being a winner, these wins were not given to him. Like I clearly remember when he had fought. The downplaying for Danny Garcia really started, in my opinion, back when he fought Eric Morales for the WBC title. You know, it was stripped off Eric Morales on the scales because he failed to make weight, and then he got caught with like steroids or some shit. I know he tested positive for something, and Danny fought him regardless, which is a really courageous move because a lot of people would cancel the fight if they seen that their opponent was taking performance enhancement drugs. But a lot of people thought that he was gonna lose to Eric Morales, that he wasn't seasoned enough and he was too green or whatever. But he goes and he actually defeats Eric Morales, right? So then he goes on. Was it Judah? I think he fought Judah after that. A lot of people thought that he was gonna lose to Judah. Um, I'm not gonna do this in order, but I remember a lot of people thought he was gonna lose to Judah as well because Judah has the ability to punch a little bit as a southpaw, and and it's pretty quick. And a lot of people thought that was like a style that is superior over Danny's, and that would be the style that would really give Danny problems. But he drops Judah, beats him up pretty bad in my opinion, and beats him convincingly. Although Judah did get some rounds in the later part of the fight, but that doesn't change the fact that Danny actually clearly won that fight in my eyes. So then he goes on, faces Eric Morales one more time, almost knocks this guy out the fucking ring, and this is an experienced vet. Eric Morales is a legend. A lot of people don't really take that into consideration. He's a legend. The guy fucking beat Manny Pacquiao. Like, come on, dog. You know how difficult it is to beat a guy like Pacquiao. He actually outboxed Manny Pacquiao really bad in the first fight. But anyway, um, almost knocks Morales off the fucking ropes or whatever. So then he goes, and instead of taking these little dumbass fights of these Sean Porter, Eric Bonet type shit, he goes on and he fights Lucas Matisse, you know. And against Lucas Matisse, there was not one. It was really hard to find that one guy in Philadelphia, in Danny's hometown, that thought that Danny was gonna beat Matisse the way that he did. A lot of people walking up and down. I used to work. I used to work at this little place back when I was younger in the summer. Well, I wouldn't say I worked there because that was my family's place, but I used to help with whatever they needed, and a lot of people would go around saying, "Yo, Danny's getting knocked the fuck out. You see Matisse, you see when he did the Lamont, all this crazy stuff." And Matisse was definitely the boogeyman in that division. So um, he puts the mandatory to the side, being Victor Postal, to fight Lucas Matisse. And he beats Matisse and actually drops him. Like Danny has, and I'm saying that to say that, and he fought Lamont, you know, controversial according to the fans, but you know he beats Lamont, um, he beats Robert Guerrero for the vacant WBC title that Mayweather left behind, and like in all these occasions, Danny has risen to the top. He has not failed not once. He hasn't failed not once. Um, with that, like with all of these situations that I just gave to you, it seems to mean shit to to boxing fans. You know, it doesn't seem to um, seep into their mind when they think about Danny Garcia, because with these so-called boxing fans, they just remember the negative things. Just like Drake said. He said they whisper my they they yell like my failures and whisper my accomplishments. And that's definitely what they're doing with Danny right now. Um, and it's weird because I can't find a situation where Keith Thurman has been in this. Like, first of all, like, I don't think Thurman has fought anybody like Danny Garcia. I agree with Danny when he says that. Sean Porter is a quality opponent for what was given to Keith Thurman, but it's not like Sean Porter is like fucking unbeatable, because he has shown that he can be outboxed twice by Kell Brook and Keith Thurman. So it's not like this guy's he wasn't like the boogeyman of the division, not like Matisse was in 140. Sean Porter wasn't like that at 147, in my personal opinion. And I don't think Sean Porter fought an opponent and beat them that was actually a good opponent other than Broner. But Broner, we all know Broner's not a welterweight fighter, and he's not somebody who fights really well on the back foot. And that's pretty much a tailor-made style for Sean Porter to beat. So because Sean Porter's gonna come all day long, come forward and try to smother your offense and beat you as bad as he can. And with Broner not being able to come forward against a guy as rugged as Sean Porter, that was supposed to happen. So, but Keith Thurman's resume is not that impressive. He tries to make it impressive when he talks to people, but in my personal opinion, it's not as good as Danny Garcia's. Now, that could be because a lot of people don't want to fight Keith Thurman. And it's not like Keith Thurman is turning down these big fights, because he wanted to fight Amir Khan. Khan didn't want to fight him. He wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao didn't want to fight him. He wanted to fight Kell Brook. Kell Brook didn't want to fight him. So, it's not like this guy is reaching out for these fights to make it happen. He's trying, but the trying wasn't getting him nowhere until now. And we don't really know what Keith Thurman is able to do against a top quality opponent like Danny Garcia. 33-0. It's not really much to really criticize about that, besides when people think that he has lost the fight, which in my personal opinion, that's irrelevant. Two undefeated fighters going in on March, and a lot of people aren't giving Danny the edge in this fight, and I don't understand why, when Danny Garcia has been in more he has faced more adversity than Keith Thurman, and has risen above every time. So it's more of a guarantee that Danny will raise to the occasion against Keith Thurman than Keith Thurman would, because we haven't seen Keith Thurman in situations like we've seen Danny Garcia in and actually succeed. Other than that body shot from Collazo, but these are things fighters are gonna go through eventually. Not every fighter goes through what Danny Garcia had to go through. Some guys come into boxing and are automatically favored every time, and are given these prestigious, like a lot of people, and a lot of these fighters are like given belts, and a lot of fighters are made world champion nowadays. But Danny Garcia took the long route and is actually getting what he's worked for. So, that's all I really wanted to say about this situation. Danny doesn't get the credit that he deserves, and definitely shouldn't be the underdog going into this fight. It should be Keith Thurman who has all of the proving to do, because Danny Garcia has done way more proving in the ring than has shown to be more proven in the ring than Keith Thurman. But it is what it is. Let me know what y'all guys think about it in the comic section below. This is Mazuma TV, and we out here.